5, 4, 3, 2.
Tier 1 performance.
Welcome back to another episode of Tier 1 Performance. We are back with In and Out Talks with our new guest, Anthony Todaro, also known as Bull. All right. So go ahead and, Anthony, and give us a little background about you, how you fell in love with the game, and what you're doing now.
Yeah, so I think when I was really young, I really wasn't supposed to play baseball. Like, my dad was kind of wanting me to play basketball. But one day I remember when I was maybe 3 or 4 years old, I was in the backseat of the car. My dad was driving, and I always had to have a ball in my hand. So I had a golf ball, and for some reason I just chunked it at the windshield in the front of the car.
Did you crack it?
Yeah, I cracked the windshield. Dad pulled over, looked back at me, looked around, saw the ball, and he was like, all right. So he took me to, like, Academy or something, bought me a glove. We went home and played catch the first time.
That's nice. I'm pretty sure my dad would have banged the hell out of me. But that's all right. Keep going.
Yeah. So then, played, Little League. Went on, played high school ball at Tennessee High School. Then I played some college ball out in northern Indiana at Goshen College. Graduated in 2020. Went on to play independent pro baseball with the Roswell Invaders and the California Dogecoin in the Atlantic League.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, and you were a catcher, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So, go ahead and walk us through what it was like for you to get recruited to college.
So, the recruiting process for me was, it was kind of tough. I was 5'7". I was not the biggest guy out at all these combines and showcases. So, my dad always made me wear a bright pink shirt so I kind of stand out. Because, I wasn't blazing fast. I was a good defensive catcher. I didn't hit with a whole lot of power. But, my calling card was I threw a 1-8 pop time.
Okay. So that was your specialty.
Yeah, they'll remember that. They'll remember, what was that kid in the bright pink shirt that just popped a 1-8? So that's kind of how my name got around. Then I joined a national team my junior year of high school.
Okay.
It's ran by Max Bat.
Okay.
It's a bat company out in Minnesota,
them.
I think. Yeah.
But
yeah, so junior year, every other weekend in the fall, I would fly out to a different state, like Vegas, Arizona, Florida, and I'd play a tournament out there. And the head coach of that team was actually the assistant coach at the college I ended up signing with.
Wow, okay.
So that's kind of how I got with them up in Indiana from Texas.
He just fell in love with you as a player.
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
you for his team.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's really nice. What do you think helped you get that 1-8 pop time? What did you work on?
I was always just naturally gifted as a throwing the ball. I really never had to work on throwing. I was just always good at it. And growing up, me and my dad played catch every single day. I think that's just what made my arm so strong.
Mm-hmm.
I just constantly play catch, and I don't make bad throws just because when I did with my dad in the streets, he'd make me go chase and go get the ball.
Yeah.
So it just taught me to throw the ball good, make sure you hit your target, and it just became really easy over time.
Now, what were you like as a hitter as well?
As a hitter, I didn't put up a whole lot of big power numbers. I got on base. That's all I can really say.
Strikeouts were down to a minimum.
No, I barely struck out. I always put the ball in play.
Yeah. And so you were kind of the guy, just that guy that's always getting on base.
Yeah,
not necessarily overpowered.
I could have definitely been a leadoff guy or a two-hole guy, but I was slow. So I bat around 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
That's where I bat, but, I always got on base.
So tell me about your college career. How'd that go?
College career, so I had to graduate in 2020, so that was during the COVID years and stuff like that. But before that, it was pretty good. My first year, I was a backup because there's a older catcher in front of me. But my head coach, he'd pull him sometimes, and I'd go in as a defensive replacement, or I'd get a couple midweek starts.
Yeah. But
yeah, so that normal kind of college freshman year for that. Sophomore, junior, senior year, I was a starter. Average seasons, they're all right. Good defensively. I hit probably a high 200s. Yeah. And 2020, that's we played 7 or 8 games. And
then the season slammed you.
Yeah, I was doing really good though, and I had been seeing more in collegiate summer leagues than actually at school. So I was getting phone calls from the Minnesota Twins in the Pittsburgh Pirates.
What summer leagues did you play in?
I played in the New York Collegiate Baseball League.
Right.
I played in Niagara Falls out there. That's where I got seen by the Twin Scout.
Nice.
And then I played in the South Florida Collegiate League.
Uh-huh.
That's where I got saw by the Pirate Scout.
These are each like different years.
Different years.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Pirate Scout actually owned the team that I played on in Florida. He was the
wow.
international scout, so he couldn't actually sign me because he could only sign international players.
Wow.
But he told the other scout there.
Minnesota Scout.
No, the Pirate Scout.
Oh, okay. So the Pirate Scout couldn't sign you right then and there because he could only sign international.
Right.
But he just referred you to some
He
national.
referred me to another Pirate Scout
Okay.
that could sign me.
Okay.
So they called me when I went to school that year and said, all right, look, we're going to try to take you in the last round of the draft. That's back when the draft was a lot more rounds.
40 rounds,
yeah.
Yeah.
So we get 2020. I'm doing really good that year. And then everything hits, the world shuts down, and the draft got shortened to 2 rounds. So I wasn't getting drafted in 2 rounds.
Most people weren't.
Yeah. So the guy called me again. He's like, all right, look, we can't draft you in the 2nd round, but we're going to invite you to a tryout, and we'll sign you there as a free agent. So I'm like, all right, cool. A couple weeks go by. I get a phone call, and he's like, yeah, so the MLB just posed a scouting travel ban, so we cannot have the combine because of COVID.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, God, so what do I do now? He's like, I suggest maybe trying to go back for a 5th year of college. So I'm like, okay.
The world's still on pause.
Yeah, everything's still on pause. So,
Yeah.
you know, our college coach told us, like, we're welcome to come back. We'll have a COVID red shirt. So I called him up, and I'm like, look, I got to come back because I got nowhere to go right now. He's like, all right, yeah, cool. So I ended up signing to play in the Mid-Plains League, Collegiate League, that summer, you know, just to keep playing. So I'm thinking I'm going back to school, and then the what's it called? The people that give you the money at college.
Oh, the financial aid?
Yeah, the financial aid, they called me, and they're like, okay, so this is how much this is going to be next year. Your athletic scholarships are only good for 4 years, and so are your academic scholarships. So you owe us $40,000 for this year if you want to come back.
That's ridiculous.
And I'm like, yeah, I can't
It's
afford that.
criminal.
So as soon as I got that call, I left the Kansas league that I was in because, I mean, there was no point. So I left there, came home, and started going to independent ball tryouts. And I went to one out in Houston for the Pecos League. That's where
I know the Vegas League,
yeah.
absolutely.
So I signed with the Rossville Invaders there, and I played the rest of the season with them, which was only like 15, 20 games left.
Mm-hmm.
And then that season ended. Then the next baseball season started, and I went and tried out for the California Dogecoin in the Atlantic League, and I made that team. So I played with them for a while.
How long were you with them?
Just 1 year, because any ball, like, it's pro baseball, you get paid, but it's basically about you keep playing until you run out of money, because they don't pay you but maybe $50 a week, maybe.
It's not enough to live off of.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
like if you hit a home run, they'll pass the hat around the stands and they'll fill it up and you'll get that. But you'll play a game, and then after the game, you're gonna have to come home and DoorDash just to make some money to eat.
Right.
You know.
It's definitely a grind. I understand. Yeah. Man, that is brutal. So your whole recruiting process and collegiate to pro career is the most unconventional way I've heard to this day.
Probably one of the most unlucky ways. But yeah, I still live my dream. I got paid to play the game.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I could ever ask for.
You also outlasted more than 99% of baseball players in their career, right? Going from a young age, and then, you know, only like 2% of people make it from high school to college, and then 2% of that even get to go to play pro ball. So yeah, I mean, like, to say like guys like you or guys like me or guys like, you know, Tyler or all those other guys around here, to say that we were at the next level is like the biggest accomplishment. And I know it wasn't the end game for us, which is why we take it so hard. But in the grand scheme of things, it is like overwhelmingly really bright. Like,
yeah, and like I hate when people come up to me and they're like, you only played any ball. Like that's not real baseball. Dude, my last at bat was against Matt Latos. He played for the Angels. He was a Cy Young candidate. I got a double off him. It was real baseball. There was ex-pros playing there all the time, every game.
Right. I mean, yeah, a lot of independent ball doesn't get enough media coverage or credit, because it's not like you're walking in and you're playing like high school scrubs. It's not your average beer league softball team. It is like you walk in, you're playing ex-pros, you're playing kids fresh out of college. Mm-hmm. I mean, you might even get a couple high schools, but that's rare. But you're also playing people that just got released that are trying to get back in. And people from indie ball do make it back to the league. Now, it's not common for I think positional guys, but for a pitcher,
Yeah.
what's to stop a pitcher? All of a sudden he's throwing 95 with control.
Yeah,
They'll call him back up. Yeah.
Any ball, every guy you face is throwing 95,
That's what I'm
96.
saying.
You know,
They're the people towards the end of their careers in their adult bodies that just didn't get the chance to go pro for the MLB. I mean, and even though there was 40 rounds back there was still a lot of people that deserved to be drafted.
Right.
You know, if you take away the political aspect, there are technically guys that should have been drafted anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, just for some odd reason or not, they didn't get the chance, so then they go to indie ball. And competition's good. We're not saying it's like the MLB at the show level, but it's not those teams still go in and they're still going to beat college kids. Mm-hmm. And y'all don't get credit enough.
yeah.
I mean, I had the opportunity to go and play indie ball in the I don't know, it was from some team in St. Louis.
Oh, Gateway Grizzlies?
Yeah, something like that. And I also had another opportunity to go back up in New England and play. But for me, if I didn't, at my walk-on tryout, what do you call it? Or a free agent tryout.
Yeah.
If I didn't sign there, to me that was just it because I was already living out of my car.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, I know the indie ball was going to be a grind, but I couldn't just, I didn't have money.
It's hard to afford, yeah.
Yeah, my parents, as soon as I turned 22, they were like, good luck, here's your bills.
When I went and played indie ball, I felt like I got spoiled playing college ball.
That's exactly right.
I had to pay for my own hotels in indie ball. I had to drive to my own games, different states. I mean, we had one game that was in Washington, D.C., and then we had to be in North Carolina the next day. That was horrible.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
That is some crap. I mean, everyone's got their fair share of just ugly stories playing at that level. But yeah, I mean, it is an absolute grind. I understand it completely. So, being a guy who has played since a kid, going into high school, going into college, going into pro ball, even though it's not the normalest route, you still took a route and still made it to those levels, right? So, what would be your advice to kids that are going from high school going from high school to trying to make it to college?
High school to college, stay away from the really big showcase combine things, because if you show up and there's 100 to 200 kids at this place and there's 10 schools watching you, odds are you're not going to get signed, because that's most likely a money grab, and they're going to split that profit between all 10 schools and the people who put on the showcase. You might get one guy that gets signed out of that, and that's probably because he hit 3 bombs out of the 5 BP pitches he got that day. But stick to the smaller ones, where one school puts it on, and maybe there's 2 or 3 that come watch also, or there's maybe 30, 40
feeder
kids.
schools, yeah.
Yeah. You'll actually get seen there. They'll watch you there. But I've been to those big ones too with some of my friends, and I remember one of my buddies was a pitcher. I called his bullpen when he was throwing in front of the scouts. He goes over to the scout to get his number back, and the scout's like, did you go? He's like, yeah, I just got off the mound. And the scout hands it back, and he's like, oh, yeah, you're great. That's it.
That is criminal.
Yeah, so, I mean, a lot of those are money grabs, and they'll take that money and they'll put it towards their program to, buy balls or quick drive for their field or something like that.
A lot of those tournaments is how, those volunteer assistant coaches, who are now not volunteers, but they get paid now, thank God. But, I had a couple friends that were doing that, and they would come down, and I'd be coaching back when I was coaching actual teams, and they would come in, and they'd be like, what are you doing here? And I'd be like, coaching a team. I was like, what are you doing here? I was like, as a showcase? And he's like, oh yeah, they just pay me. This is how I make my living. They pay me to come here to these tournaments. And he goes, I'm not even allowed to sign anyone. I'm just there. Just because I'm there, they have a scout there. I'm looking at them technically, but I'm not really looking for them. And, and he does that every weekend during the summer. And it was like you said, a money grab. He's never once signed any of those kids that have gone there. So rolling into my next question, what level do you think these high school kids need to be in order to actually gain the attention of these scouts if they do go the right way?
There's college baseball for everyone, in my opinion. There's D1 through D3, and then you got JUCO, you got NAI, you got NCCAA, I believe. Mm-hmm. If you're seen by the right person at the right time, you'll be signed if you're good enough. You don't have to be blazing fast. You don't have to hit a ton of home runs. If you're a good, solid ball player, you work hard, and you got good grades, somebody's going to find you.
Mm-hmm. How do you think these kids can open up their opportunities to being found besides playing in tournaments?
Just have good grades. I mean, a lot of times colleges will sign you because you have like a 4.0 GPA. I mean, NAIA, I know for sure. I went NAIA. They'll sign somebody with a high GPA, put him on the team because his GPA will reduce the amount of money increase the amount of money that they can give out to other players.
Right, student athlete.
Yeah,
right.
and then you can work your way up into the starting rotation from there.
Okay. I mean, I think kids definitely need more avenues because, I mean, you see the not all summer ball teams are like this, but you see the money ball summer ball teams, where each kid pays $100.
Yeah.
And then they go around and they do this circuit and they make a perfect game tournament. It's like whatever, and let's say it's out in New Mexico or something like that. Not saying that they are, but let's say it's out in New Mexico and there's 500 teams playing. You think the scouts are going to see
No. It's that Georgia one that they do in Atlanta.
Yes.
There's 400 teams there this summer.
Something around.
And if you don't get the pool where you're playing at the Lake Point complex, there's going to be no scouts watching your game at some local high school in Georgia. For one, it's hard enough to get around there with the traffic anyways. No, they're all going to stay at Lake Point. So if your team doesn't play at Lake Point, sorry, there's going to be no scouts there.
Yeah. And let's go with to college now. So if you're a college kid looking to go pro, what separates you from your average collegiate player?
Man, I honestly couldn't tell you that. You just got to have that one tool, maybe two, that is just above everybody else. Mine was throwing. I could throw really good. I was a great defensive catcher. That's what got me to play pro ball. If you do one thing really, really well, somebody's going to see it. Somebody's going to want that.
So you're saying as a high schooler, if you can just be an overall smart student and a well-rounded player and athlete, you can get picked up somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
To go from college to the next level, you have to stand out in one of the 5 tool categories,
exactly.
if not 2 or more.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just an average player at every single spot, you're going to go unnoticed, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there is a certain aspect of the game where, you have to stand out. Talent does matter, skill does matter.
Me, I'm 5'7". I had a cannon. That was the only thing that got me seen. And for a college guy, if you want to go on and play pro ball at any level, whether that be independent ball or affiliated ball, my advice is to go play Summer Collegiate League because that's where I saw the most scouts when I was playing at the college level.
Okay. As a college kid, though, how do you go out? So, not every school sends their kids to summer league colleges. How do you go out and get it?
I mean, you don't have to be sent out by your college. You just go find these people. You email these leagues. You go to their league website. You email the teams. Hey, look, this is who I am. Here's my recruit video. This is what I did this season in college. I'm looking for somewhere to play. And they may or may not call you back. If they do, pick up the phone. I can be there in May or whatever.
Yeah, worst they can say is no, right?
Yeah, worst they can say is no. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, that's really good, helpful too. Because I had a couple of college kids come back and they're like, I have nowhere to play this summer, and I was like, you need to be playing.
Yeah, well, they're not going to come get you. You got to go get them sometimes.
And I think a lot of people do think that my coach has to send me out somewhere, and because when the season's over, it's over, right? Yeah. Now, some schools that I went to, up in Rhode Island, or a lot of schools up there, they'll send you out. They'll have you sign in the beginning of the fall or something. They'll have you taken care of. But I will say this: they did not have a place for everyone to play.
Right.
They sent select few out, and then if you redshirted or if you were a freshman or if you weren't even if you were fighting for a roster spot, he'll be find somewhere to play, come back better. Yeah. It's always pretty cutthroat. So, Bull, what do you do now?
Now I'm a hitting and a catcher's coach at D-Bet Humble. I'm also the camp director here, and I'm being groomed to become the assistant GM here.
Okay.
As well. So still around the game, which I love, but at one point when I stopped playing pro ball, I didn't want to be around it anymore.
Understandable.
I just wanted to get away from it. So for a year, I just no baseball for about a year, and then came back here, was looking for a job, ended up falling back in love with the game again.
And I don't
coaching these kids.
I don't think that's talked about enough. I know Mitch and Tyler and a couple of the other baseball guys that I've had on this podcast, We've talked about like no one really talks about, and Brittany, but no one really talks about what happens after baseball ends, right? Like it's never really like a happy ending, right? It's always really bittersweet and it's really sad, and you fall into this hole. Like how do you go doing something you've only known your whole life?
Yeah.
Like for hours of a day, every day, even on holidays or whatnot, and then all of a sudden it's just done. You just wake up and it's just over. Like you don't know what to do.
You really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, like
it's hard to cope with. It's a hard thing to cope with, and they don't prepare you. And then you got to go get a job in the real world, and you're like, all of a sudden the dream's it's like the bubbles popped, right?
Yeah. So I mean, like 2 years after college, I was still playing, but that third year, I wanted to keep playing, but then I realized, look, this is a business. I'm 24 years old now. I'm too old for the minor leagues now.
Yes, exactly.
You know, especially when the draft every year, there's 18-year-olds, 16-year-olds sometimes.
I got called
go
old
in the
at
draft.
22, yeah.
Yeah, so like you got to realize that it is a business. They're going to take the younger guys. They're not going to take some 24-year-old that needs a job just because he needs a job.
Exactly.
So that's when you kind of decide that, all right, I got to hang it up. I got to find something else. So, you know, I tried, you know, all these other business jobs. I went on a bunch of interviews. I couldn't really see myself doing any of that stuff. So I came here one day, and Kyle offered me a job to be around the game. So
yeah, the game called you back.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
It's toxic. I'll just land. Because I think when I like fully realized like, hey, I'm sitting at home at my parents' place, no job. You know, I'm like 22 years old. I was like literally 3 months prior, I was playing.
Yeah.
You know, I was here, king of the castle, right? And then 3 months later, like I'm home and like, hey, this is it.
Yeah.
Like this is it. We're gonna call it quits. And then I was like, man, I want nothing to do with the game. Baseball makes me sick. Like I'm like going through it. I'm up and down, can't sleep, all that. Don't know what to do. It's like you're having an identity crisis.
Yeah,
almost.
Definitely.
And then I think if it was my dad, that was just like, hey, get a job or get out.
Yeah.
Like pay rent or get out. And so forced me to get a job. I had to do the same route as you, apply, and then I ended up getting a coaching gig for at the Dynasty down in Kingwood. I was there for a couple of months until that's how I ended up getting my other job where I'm at now. So it's kind of, no one really prepares you for the end, right? They just tell you to keep living the dream as long as you can, but no one tells you how it can just end like that, and you never know. You'll never know when it's your last day.
Yeah.
Right. I know my last game that I played, I didn't think it was gonna be my last game, and thank God I ended it on a hit. I had strep throat, and I was playing. It was like 40 degrees also too, and that was also the day I graduated. So it was like the last game I ever played, and I was devastated. But you don't know how, it's always something ugly like that. It's never like, oh, I ended off with a grand slam and we won the championship. You always.
I think my last at bat I was walked.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks.
Yeah. And I can only imagine like other people's other horror stories. But being a D-bat instructor, what have you learned, or have you learned something about the game that you haven't learned, like I guess in the past, like when you were as a player? Do you learn something new as a coach?
I don't know if I can say I learned, but I've noticed that there are coachable players and then there are non-coachable players.
Okay. And
when I get somebody in the cage with me that I've never met before that's just a non-coachable player, it's just hard to get to them, to help them with anything. And I have more respect now for all the coaches I had in my past and what they had to deal with. Mm-hmm. And I think that makes me a better coach. I'm patient with these kids, but if you can't accept or just pay attention to what I'm trying to tell you, because I'm not trying to hurt your swing or whatever. I'm trying to help you. But if you're not going to take my advice, then there's nothing I can do for you. I'm trying the most I can.
Right.
But and then I get a coachable kid come in that does everything I ask him to do. I just feel great. I feel like a genius, honestly, sometimes. Hey, I fixed this. He actually listened. It worked. That's awesome. That's great. There's no better feeling than knowing that you help somebody else.
Right.
And I love that about my job, that I get to come out here, play baseball with these kids all day long, and I get to help them get better and keep playing this game.
It's always the ones that want help, that want to be here. Those are the best ones. Since we've been instructing here for almost relatively the same amount of time. You definitely had more hours in, because I am not here all the time, but I think I started a little bit before you came on.
Yeah.
because I'm a couple years older than you, but I mean, I think you have a point. Like, coachability is a huge thing, and it doesn't start like in high school. It starts like when you're small, when you're like 6, 7, 8. Can you handle instruction? Yeah. Well, then you're already behind the ball, right? The war's lost before it even begun. You know, and I think that's a really good, important issue that you brought up, because
I mean, like, I'll have some 5-year-olds that are just like crushing balls off the walls, and then I'll have another 5-year-old that's still picking his nose and not listening. But
I mean, dude, I'll have a 9-year-old that I'll tell him, I'll slow it down for him, instruct him. I was like, if it doesn't make sense, please let me know. I mean, it's not like the kid has a talking disability or whatever, but I mean, and he'll just do it wrong every time. And I'm like, are you even trying? He'll just be like, I don't know, like goofing around. And I'm like, we're not getting anywhere. But I know their parents want that kid to succeed very bad. And I'm like, well, I'm not making any progress with him because I can't control him. Like, he won't listen to me, and I'm not going to go out of my way to like, to like get your kid to obey me. Like, he's going to either listen or he's not. It's not my child. I'm not like, I'm just responsible for that. I can only do what I can. But then, you take on the back end, I have like a 5-year-old who's like a switch hitter, who if I tell him his hands are dropping below the ball, he'll just fix it. And like, the kid can't even talk sentences to me. He has anxiety issues. He talks to his dad, who talks to me. But like, at least that kid's coachable. Even if he can't talk, he's coachable, right? And he's a stud. So
I mean, like, one thing I see a lot, right now, anyways, is there's these kids that are, high school age kids that are saying, "Oh, I want to try for the baseball team," and I'm like, "Have you ever played before?" I'm like, "No, never played." So I'm like, "Okay, let's try this out. You might be a little late, but if you pay attention, you listen, we might get you somewhere."
Yeah, you got to work hard though.
Yeah, some of them don't pan out. I see maybe some of them once, maybe twice, but there's actually one kid right now that I have just started playing, and the first lesson we had was it was ugly. But the kid listened, and he did everything I asked him to do. Now we're 2 months in. He's never played before, but now it looks like he's played his whole life.
Oh, wow.
And I really think this kid's got a really good shot at making the team. And, he's probably one of my favorite lessons to give every week now. I see him 2-3 times a week sometimes, but he works his butt off. And those are the type of kids that I believe can really go somewhere with this game.
Yeah.
If you're coachable and you work hard, you can go somewhere.
Yeah. And for all these non-baseball players out there, baseball is, in my eyes, I think the hardest sport, because it takes the most skill. Hitting a moving pitch is it's not easy.
No. Like me, I played football for the first time in middle school. I had no idea how to play at all. I just knew, hey, find somebody, go hit them, and I was good at it. I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
But that's what separates like games like football and baseball.
Yeah, I mean, each sport has their own level of complexity, but to me, as far as like down, which one is harder? Like, if you're telling me to do a pick six or a spin move 3-pointer on the line, or hit Aroldis Chapman off the mound, I mean, there's no way. The only sport that I think is, it's a personal opinion, I'm not trying to get myself canceled out here, but like, I think if it's not baseball, to me, I think it's hockey, because I think hockey is uniquely, the coordination it takes to be a hockey player, skating that fast in the NHL league, and then maneuvering. It's almost like you're running on ice while maneuvering a puck, while the puck's moving like over 60 miles an hour back and forth. Yeah, I think that's insane. Yes. Other than that, I think baseball is the toughest.
I feel like baseball players, though, like if you put them in any other sport, they may not be the best, but they can go and compete.
They can go and compete, exactly. I mean, I feel like, we can literally do, I think we can do a lot. I think a lot of our sports that are around us, like baseball, can kind of connect almost all of them to some degree. But Bull, man, I appreciate you coming on with us today, and we'd love to have you back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take care, guys.